Go. All right. So, Dawn of the Hunt content reveal. I hope you're ready.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's about time for our first major content update. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, which launches on April 4th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live.
Wait. April 4th. It's in 2 days. Holy shit. Okay, well, Path of Exile 2 is back in 2 days. Oh, ho, ho, let's go. Oh, yeah, that's true. I heard about it. It just happens to be at the same time as the Last Epoch, the new season. People were pretty angry about that because what I heard, developers from Last Epoch contacted GGG and actually asked them to let them know because they don't want to be in conflict with them. They don't want to be competitors or whatever. And I heard that they never got back to them or something like that. So that's too bad.
So make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Executioner's Guillotine finisher effect. Now in today's stream, we're going to take you on a deep dive into the new Dawn.
So we're going to have the guillotine
we'll cover a new
drops.
Class, 5 new Ascendancy classes.
Screw, I'm going
huge expansions
yeah.
on character systems like unique items and support gems. After that,
For you guys, I'm going home.
Including changes to systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots of other content.
Let's go.
We're going to finish up today with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile 2's game directors, myself and Mark, your questions from Twitch chat. Now we have a lot to cover today, so let's get started with a trailer for Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt.
Oh, let's go.
We as Mary are guided by
So it's going to be the Huntress, right?
It provides prey, shelter, even love. But for me, one day, all that were changed. The spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden.
Forbidden.
And to defend all I loved, I used it.
It's like a Javazon. Let's go.
Everything that day. But fate weren't finished with me yet. I'll right the wrongs I've done. I'll do what I must, no matter the cost. I will hear the spirit once more.
Wait, does that mean that the starting character selection screen for that specific class won't be the same as the other ones? Or that's prior to the execution scene? I don't know. It feels like that's the point that she should escape, you know? Feels great. It's also a good thing I didn't level up all my other characters so far and got so deep in the maps because they are like overhauling the whole maps system from what I've read. So I love my Dex melee characters. Yeah, basically every single character. I like them all. I tried every single type of build so far, like almost all of them, and I actually enjoy them like almost equally. Even though I prefer the warrior, you know, even though everyone hates the warrior, but whatever. Cool. Holy shit! Hey, that's the new regions. That's the new regions for the other acts. So there's gonna be a place that looks like Travincal. That's cool. The mountains of Aragarth. Oh my god, man. Hey, this is so much like fan service, man. It's insane, man. There were people online who were actually betting on how close to Diablo 2 all the regions will be. Like, okay, are we going back? Like, are we going to Travancore after the jungle? And are we going to the top of the mountains of Aragarth right after? That's pretty much what I think is going to happen, guys. Whoops. Holy shit. Holy shit. With the beating heart and all, like, with all the corruption. Holy shit. On the top of the giants, yeah, man. Yeah, man, that looks great, man. I think I'm gonna be, like, dropping another 500 hours. Holy shit, man. Bro, like, the ambience, like, everything around like the atmosphere of the game, man. That's how Diablo 4 should have been, man. Look at the here. Imagine if it was Mephisto like in Diablo 4 or something like that, like this. Look at that. How neat it sounds, like how neat it looks. You'll be mine. Something like that, you know, like. Follow me, my brother. What is the, like,
As you can see,
anyways.
in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to PoE 2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior. Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village. As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle. Spears have extended range and a short dash, but unlike other melee weapons,
from the skill gem she get from her village. So I would expect the intro of the game to be different for this one.
you can also throw them. In order to make a hybrid ranged and melee character work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter and exit.
Hey, wait, I have a... Could it be that the actual intro of the game, well, you just wake up on the beach, is exactly the same as PoE 1, like, obviously? Was that something just, like, temporary and every single class will have its own beginning or something like that? Could it be? If so, man, that's freaking crazy, man.
Exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a Huntress is Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slash is used, the bigger the whirlwind, and the bigger the explosion.
Okay, but whirlwind with the warrior, man.
Once
Fuck
you're
that
out of
shit,
there,
man.
You'll want to follow up with something ranged. Whip your spear around to shoot twisters towards your foes.
Twisters.
These twisters
Warriors.
bounce off walls and hit enemies multiple times. You can also throw twisters inside a whirlwind to shoot out extra tornadoes that do way more damage.
That's exactly like the
In her
tornadoes
offhand,
from the Warrior of
Huntress
Diablo
will
4. But the
usually
thing
want to
is,
hold a buckler.
it also feels like it would be like a spell for the druid. So I wonder how the druid would look like. Will he be like basically exclusively like entropy or something? Like form changer? And not really using the elements, or I don't know, maybe using like nature, like the plants or something, you know? Huntress skills with warrior. Yeah, I'm gonna try it, man. I want to try every single build with the warrior, man, as my base.
Which allows you to do
Just
a
to
new
see how
skill,
ridiculous
parry.
or how bad it
While
could
holding
be.
down parry, your character will counterattack any incoming attack from monsters near you, stunning them. In addition, the monsters will take extra attack damage from your follow-up strike. Some specific skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions, like dodge roll. If you use it against a parried enemy, though, it causes an explosion.
With
and
parry?
gives you a frenzy charge.
I don't know. Maybe.
Just be careful. If you parry too much,
Imagine you
you're gonna
just
get stunned
wear
and
like a
possibly
fucking
killed.
huge shield and a fucking huge weapon, and you can just parry and flip back for like some reason. You're just like, holy shit.
And you get an explosion from the disengage and the
Not today.
The Huntress also has a variety of elemental spear throw attacks. You could use lightning spear to bounce lightning between your foes. Or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These spears take a while to detonate, but when they do, they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast. All spear throws on the Huntress can also be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion and leave fire on the ground. And these empowered versions can activate even more combos.
I completely
Using
forgot
whirlwind
how
slash
good
with
this
ground
game
fire
looks, man.
will suck it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion. Using twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shoot out fire tornadoes as well. And you can do similar combos with ice and lightning too. Now, a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake, which dashes towards your
High frame
target
rate,
and
yeah.
unleashes a deadly slash, opening up wounds on your enemies.
I put everything
watch them bleed out as
at
they
max
run
settings,
towards
and
you.
I have pretty decent FPS.
On the health bar of monsters, you can see how much blood loss the enemy has experienced, and the Huntress has skills to take advantage of this. For example, using Blood Hunt will thrust forward and cause a bloody explosion. The more blood loss, the bigger the explosion. If you want to cause bigger bleeds, try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this multi-hit combo will stick a spear into your enemy for a big bleed. Now, explosive spear and
Feels like a duelist, but with a spear. Weren't there like a skill similar to this with the duelist in Path of Exile 1? Like with the pointy sword, you just like a ta-ta-ta-ta-ta? Something like that? You know, like you just point like rapidly to your at your foe? Was it the duelist? Kinda, yeah. I'm so not knowledgeable enough about PoE1.
Rapid Assault both result in leaving spears behind, either in the ground or in enemies. But there are other skills that leave spears around too, like Storm Lance, that leaves an electrical spear that arcs towards enemies. But what can you do with all these spears? Detonate them, of course. Thunderous Leap will allow you to jump onto and explode any spears either in the ground or in your enemies. Now, as well as hunting animals, the Huntress also has the ability to work with them. While fighting any beast, you have the ability to tame it and use it as a companion.
Wait a minute! Is it what I think it is? Can you actually just capture Silver Fist as a Pokemon or something? What?
You can only have one companion at a time, but it will keep the mods that were on it.
Quadrilla. Oh, okay. You just have a standard Quadrilla when... Ah, that's too bad. I would have been so awesome to just Silver Fist behind you. I just can go ahead and just kill them all. Okay, thank you.
We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class by having a huge amount of synergy between ranged and melee options.
But at the same time, kind of feels like a druid, right? But she's a huntress, so basically she's just hunting. It's would it be because I assume too much. It's an Amazon. It's not an Amazon. It just feels similar. I need to take that out of my mind.
There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress. By endgame, you'll be slinging hundreds of insanely powerful spears, sending forth spirit animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky. But we still haven't talked about ascendancy classes yet.
Spear
What can
warrior.
the Huntress ascend into?
It's more like the
Well,
Jaguar
first
warriors
ascension
from Age of
class
Empire
we
2.
choose is the Ritualist. The Ritualist has embraced the darker side of his merry traditions by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and plague. The corrupted life force skill causes
Hunting
all
wild
enemies around you
beasts.
to grow volatile blood boils on their skin. When those enemies are
boil.
slain, the boils will burst, spreading corrupted blood to all enemies around them.
Skirmishers, yeah, kind of.
The Ritualist also excels in taking advantage of magical trinkets. The Unfurled Finger skill allows you to equip an additional ring on a finger around your neck.
Holy shit.
Taking Mystic Attunement increases the bonuses of all the rings and amulets you have equipped.
You have a finger on your neck, so you can basically just put a ring in there?
Grants you a new skill,
What the fuck?
Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses.
The
of
picture
slain
is very
monsters
funny, man.
To absorb the power in their blood, to give you one of their modifiers for a short
But I
time.
think it's more like, you know, like the one ring in the Lord of the Rings, you know, with a chain or something. It's just very funny the way the unfurled finger to
which
put the
allows
ring
you to
around your
form that
neck,
skull
so it's like,
yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand, sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself. The Amazon Ascension is for those looking to hunt more than just beasts. Trained as an elite guard to the most important Asmeri elders, the Amazon will use more traditional fighting techniques mastered to perfection. The Predatory Instinct skill will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see those weak spots represented on their life bars. While using Elemental Infusion, any charges you consume will infuse your weapon with elemental power, causing any projectile attacks to explode on impact. The Critical Strike skill is as simple as it sounds. It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance. Additionally, you have skills like Mystic Harvest, which allows your elemental damage to leech life, and Asmeri Brew to be able to use either flask to restore both life and mana.
Holy shit! Regenerations potions! They're back! Rejuvenation! Let's go! Hey, Regi potions are back, man. Let's go.
So those are the 2 new ascendancies for the Huntress. But those are not the only ascendancies in Dawn of the Hunt. We've added a new ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too. First up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Kitava. The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly. With this ascension, you can take your smithing...
Your father Renly, yeah, that's something I realized when I was playing a lot of the warrior. Renly, the first guy you talk to in the first village, when you are the warrior, he's your father. You're the only character that has family around there. Like, you're basically, it's the most lore accurate character you can play, basically.
Skills to new heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally. Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing so, your attacks will release explosions on hit for maximum devastation.
Holy shit.
You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you. A great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon though. Their armor can be enhanced too. Now you might think this ascendancy class tree looks a little abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected.
Wait, did they just make up a new ascendancy to fix the armor issue? It basically everyone will go for that one because it's the only place you can get more armor, basically. So they're back to square one that it's going to be an issue because nobody will play the other ascendancies. Is that it?
At the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right? Except now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points. If you want your body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense.
Okay, so if you want to do crafting, you need to use this ascendancy. They buffed it by 15%. Of course, it's not a lot. No, it's not a lot, especially if you take into consideration the fact that the actual equation to calculate armor and damage is basically kind of broken. You need to buff the armor by way more than this for it to to have an actual effect that you can feel. But the thing is, if they do the same thing, everyone will go for armor, even for not strength-based armor. So I think probably that the solution would be that if you want armor to be specifically doing something inaccurate, you need to play with the strength. So you basically need to be a strength build. So basically the warrior will have the advantage of the armor, and the other classes that are more like, I don't know, like Dex or like more magical build can rely more on evasion and energy shield, which would actually make sense because most like mages are using energy shields. Evasion is all like the Dex classes, like the assassins and shit. So that would actually make sense that the armor specifically would scale specifically with strength instead of having like a specific calculation. I think that could be that's the kind of way it was in PoE 1. That's not what I've been told. I've been told that the calculations of PoE 1 is exactly the same as in PoE 2, but PoE 2 is kind of worse. But it's pretty similar of what I heard, so... Anyways, let's get back to the video.
Now, let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hands.
Certain requirements for armor.
Alongside the existing Ascension classes, the Gemling Legionnaire and the...
Strength requirements for armor. Yeah, yeah, but that's not really what I'm talking about. It's more about how the armor scales with the stat per se. So, example, if you have like 400 strength, you would have way more armor than if you have only like 100 or something like that. That could fix the issue that the armor is kind of broken for like basically every single builds, because the other builds are not supposed to rely on armor as much as a warrior, because the warrior is actually tanking everything. So if you take that equation away and you basically set the armor to scale with strength specifically, if the other classes want to use armor as a defense, they will have to do a sacrifice on the other skills that are probably requiring like way more like intelligence or dex depending on your build. So that would like also like prevent other classes to abuse of the armor, because you need so much strength to make it reliable that you will basically just be like a very bad wizard or a very bad like I don't know, like archer or something. Each strength point give 2 life and 5 armor, say. Yeah, something like that. Or maybe to avoid to change the equation, because they still probably want the equation to like, you know, to be in the game for all classes. But example, when you're a warrior specifically, because they can make that specific stat for specifically the warrior or the strength classes, base classes, to scale differently with the same equation. Like example, it would be the equation, but if you are a warrior, every single point you get will give you either a multiplier or a bonus percentage added on top of that equation. So when you get damage, you basically scale with the strength instead. Because I don't think that just having more armor with the same equation would do pretty much anything, because the way it's calculated and the way I've been explained it on the internet, basically having more than like, I don't know, like the scaling of the armor is so weird that when you get, to example, like above 9,000 armor, even if you have like 50,000 armor, it wouldn't change much for anything in the game anyways. So like there's no point of having so much armor that it's actually, you know, doing anything. That's why most warriors are relying on energy shield and such, because the armor basically, regardless of how much armor you got, is basically useless for all classes. So it feels like it's not properly scaled for all the melee based classes. So that's what I was talking about.
Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills like suppressing fire, which causes all projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the right where we want them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too.
I was doing the pinning per se with the ice shot with the mercenary. Everything was freezing on sight. It was pretty fun.
Using the whoever pays best notable, you can place multiple banners at once. The Watch How We Do It skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well. But if that isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell and carpet an entire area with arrows. Finally, Witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead themselves. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the Lich Ascension class. The Lich is a master of chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The crystalline
You're basically a zombie.
allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up.
Oh shit.
The Necromantic Conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting extra damage as chaos damage.
So you can basically just be a zombie, a necromancer zombie.
Dominion over Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse.
Dusty Puck is a bit like that.
It's safe to say you'll be the true master of the occult by choosing the Lich class. So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and 5 new Ascension classes, but it doesn't end there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added. Now you may remember we've previously talked about the Raised Spectre skill. It's finally complete, and it will be made available in the upcoming expansion. It can be found in the occult skills on the skill gem crafting panel.
Blind Spectre.
Raised Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any monster in the game, which you can then summon in the skill panel. Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically.
So it's a little
if they
bit
die.
like the Huntress with beasts, but instead it's with
Could
dead
summon an army of
monsters.
weaker monsters, or a few of the more powerful monsters. You can combine them with your existing skeleton minions, or summon exclusively specters. It's all up to you and how you want to customize your army of the undead.
What, really?
Given that there are hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2, it's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best. Now let's move on to our next skill. Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill. Summon your friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your rower in combat at any time.
The
allowing you
added
to move
mounts,
full speed
man.
Even while shooting arrows or throwing spears. Be wary though, if you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed. It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about
So
support.
they added something to make
Support gems are
the,
used to
you know,
modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of
to go back, like, I don't remember the freaking word. But yeah, it's gonna just prevent you to just like make all the backtracking so tedious. So it will feel less like a crap to just have like waypoints all over the place. You just summon your mountain, you're done. Let's go.
builds have insufficient options here. To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems. Hema crystals will enable a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage over time you would have done into explosive Vile crystals. Alignment is a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you fling spears through their ranks.
Torrent.
But there's plenty more for every playstyle, such as Enormity, Unsteady Tempo,
Okay, wait a minute. I don't have the time to read what is written. Simple skills which summon persistent minions. Supported minions have more life, deal more damage, but cost significantly more spirit. Holy shit. Minions from supported skills have 20% increased size. Minions from supported skills have 20% more damage and have 20% more maximum life. Holy shit. Torrent. Oh yeah, like in Elden Ring, yeah, kind of.
Unsteady Tempo,
Supported attack skill. Attacking with supported skill will cycle through various effects with the first attack. Hobble on you. What is hobble? Second attack in sequence with powerful skill. Chance to critically hit and overall damage, respectively, at which point the cycle will reset. First attack in sequence with supported skill inflict hobble, equal to 40% of your life. Second attack in sequence, supported skill has 30% more critical hit. And third attack in sequence, support 20% more damage. I just wonder what hobble means to.
Profanity,
Vanity. Support skill to use on yourself. Consume a corpse, dealing chaos damage if they do. Support triggered skills or reservation skills. Supported skill, consume a corpse within 5 meters on use if possible. Supported skills deal 30% chaos damage if consuming a corpse. Holy shit, I have. Okay, let's go Hubble. Yeah, Hubble.
Retaliate,
Support skills do 40% more damage scaling as your stun bar increases. Okay, so you retaliate. So basically you do more damage when you get hit.
Syzygy. Yep, that's a real word.
The fuck? Syzygy. Support slam skills. You use yourself. Hits from supported skills are considered crushing blows against enemies which are both ignited and fully armor broken. Hits with supported skills that heavily stun ignited or fully armor broken enemies will intimidate them. Hits from supported skills are considered crushing blows against ignited and fully broken armored enemies. So you will need to burn them and break their armor prior for that skill to actually be useful. But it's a support, so like it's always circumstantial. Will permanently. Oh, permanently. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Heavily stunning enemies which are ignited and fully armor broken with supported skill will permanently intimidate them. Holy shit, that's good. That's good, man.
and many more. Now, we've talked about a new class, new ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items. To start with, let's talk about uniques. We're adding over 100 new unique items.
What the fuck?
This time, we've made sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and end-game tiers to make sure.
Oh my god, the shield with the candles, man. Oh, this is badass, man. I love it. I just wonder how the candles don't break when you punch them, right?
There are more exciting items to find for higher level characters.
Candle
Let's
mask,
look at
yeah,
some
man.
Examples. Embrace your inner devil with Chernobog's Pillar. It grants you a large amount of fire damage based on your block chance.
This is clearly dropping from the Candle Beast before you reach Act 1 boss.
The Coming Calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 Elemental Herald skills without costing any spirit. At the
Holy
same time,
shit.
it penalizes enemy resistances. Wastegate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like Blood Magic or Archmage builds. With this belt, you can use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you. Now, we could
Really?
go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover. Suffice to say, though, we want there to be way more cool things to find. Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game. Now, given that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through the end game as well.
Herald of
One
Winning,
example
yeah,
is
man. Big
Slaker's
W,
Spear,
man.
which combines bleed and fire in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more damage. We're also introducing a suite of unique bucklers with some interesting parry mechanics. Calgyra's Arc, for example, allows you to parry projectiles from any distance. And we're also adding our first unique charms. Bayra's Anguish will not only protect you from Ignite, but will also emit a devastating Fire Nova whenever you do get ignited. In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it.
Yeah,
And
no
we
shit.
also want to talk about crafting options. In each major update during
Okay.
early access, we'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have very
That's exactly what I thought would happen. Like, people are complaining about crafting, why it's not in the game, and I was like, they're trying to figure out a new way to do crafting that is not exactly the same as PoE 1. So, like, the best way to do it is just to get rid of everything and start just basically by the foundations of it. And the current foundation was just an idea behind something they want to improve upon, and that's what I thought would happen. They're just going to add layers, like, progressively to until it's to a point that they are actually satisfied about.
various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I just want to mention the changes to runes.
Okay.
Runes add commonly available mods, but since they only have one tier, flat damage mods tend to get outclassed by in-game. So we've changed runes to have multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods than before. Our plan
Holy
is to
shit.
significantly expand the number of
Hey,
more
what's up, man?
specialized mods for crafting using socketables as we add new content over time.
Yeah, now you have more and more powerful runes. So when they're just like low level, they're just like cracked and there's no light on it. And the higher level it gets, the brighter it gets, and it's an actual magical rune. Or you pop out the old one, maybe. Maybe you can break them and
And the first new set of those comes from what we're talking about next. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding Asmarian Wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame. The Asmari spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare us for the coming darkness. You will first encounter a manifestation of it in the Grellwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, an Asmari hunter who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the Wisp...
okay, so it's the Huntress specific class.
Any monsters that
I
comes
guess.
into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful. Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Asmari culture. This one is
Why
a
was
wisp
he
of the
standing
great
in the
bear
poison?
and grants enemies
Get out of
extra
it.
life and stun. The wisp moves faster the closer you are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods. As you continue to chase the wisp, it will find and possess a rare or unique monster, granting it a new powerful ability. Because this was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury. If you're able to defeat this foe, you will be rewarded. For each monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased. Each wisp has its own mechanics. The Wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind vortices on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host. The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive. When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb. If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence. Like the Wisp of the Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares, and rare monsters into actual bosses.
Holy shit.
Asmarian Wisps can drop a new set of socketable items that allow you to craft a wide range of interesting new mods onto your items. Each one may only be used on a specific item slot. As mentioned, the Asmarian
I feel it's gonna add so much chaos, man, and I love it. But not like bad chaos, you know, like just not like a clusterfuck of things on the screen, just like chaos mechanics. You never really expect what you're gonna get, right? That's great, man.
Wisps can be encountered throughout the game, but there's also a new endgame map called the Asmari Ranges, a mountain village where the Asmari once lived, now overrun with corrupt monsters.
Oh, you can get back to her hometown.
And familiar, yet not quite the same boss fight. Asmarian Wisps can also be further modified by the endgame Atlas tree as well, and by tablets. But I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in in-game, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. There's a ton to talk about with the endgame today, so let's dig right in.
Right, let's go.
Path of Exile
Waiting
2's
for it.
early access began with a brand new endgame, and it was clear that it needed a lot of work. After absorbing your feedback,
Definitely.
we're ready to make some epic changes. The first thing is, we just need a lot more content. In Dawn of the Hunt, we have made sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you explore the endgame. And the second goal is to smoothen the progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work. To start with, let's talk about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps. As well as the Asmari Ranges that Jonathan mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Hunt also contains 7 other new maps, all with their own custom encounters. Let's start with this one.
The Pharaoh
7.
Megaliths map starts off in the wild Izamite forest.
Not 3, not 4, not 5, not
As you
6,
progress through
7.
the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy.
Okay, let me get this straight. This is the first major update in 3 months. And they added that much to the game? I wonder, because they said it's going to take like at least a year, right? So if every 3 months we get as much content as now, which I probably believe will happen, because to the rate that they're working on things, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Well, we're in for a feast, man. I hope you're hungry, eh? Because the feast is coming.
After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and a concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss.
I'm defeated.
You must
Defeasted.
fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another. And another. And another. And another. You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more difficult. If you manage to defeat them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes. These can only be obtained from this map. The Fractured Lake contains a surreal waterscape with fractured mirror-like objects. As you move
that's
around
cool.
the map, the terrain itself elevates from below, creating the ground you walk on.
That's
In
cool.
this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored, so you're always fighting 2 of the same
Feels
rare
like a reimagined Arcane Sanctuary.
at the same time, which can prove quite difficult. If you
It's
manage to
totally not the
overcome
same,
that
but
challenge
that's
and
the
make
kind
it
of
to the end
vibe I
map,
get from
you'll
it.
be presented with a broken mirror, a powerful altar-like object that contains an item within it. The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring, that can be crafted to have additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other.
The last unique map we'll show today is one based around the essence mechanic. You enter a crystalline cavern, and you will find a powerful
Fortress of
map
Solitude!
imprisoned in the center.
Superman, come to my
Surrounded by
aid!
many rare monsters, also imprisoned in essences. By freeing and defeating the rare monsters, the essence they held will be upgraded to a greater essence and be added to the imprisoned map boss. How brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice.
Whoops.
Speaking of essences, alongside visual improvements, you're now able to apply Vaal Orbs to corrupt the essences with a range of unpredictable outcomes. It could increase the number of essences,
What?
reroll all the essences to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences. What if they're already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too.
So you can basically, like, corrupt with the actual item in your inventory instances that appear in the freaking maps? What the fuck? That's crazy, man. I was not expecting something like that at all.
We have 4 new corrupted essences. Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity. Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics. For example, the essence of Insanity causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating
what's up,
icy
KC?
explosion
How you
freezes
doing?
everything around it. Each of these has their own crafting outcomes. The essence of Insanity can be applied to a belt. It adds a mod that will ensure the next Vaal Orb used on the belt will guarantee adding 2 enchantments. It's worth noting all the essences in the unique map can also be corrupted too, if you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps.
Huh.
Now, new maps are just the beginning.
They got me invested, man. Seriously, I hated the maps. It was like the most boring thing. And at the beginning of the map presentation, I was actually telling myself, I'm probably going to get bored anyway. But the more they were adding stuff, the more I was like, who knows? Maybe I'm going to like it. I'm doing good. And you? I'm doing good. Thank you so much. Damn.
We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content, and that it could be lurking around any corner. So, we have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run. On your travels, you will sometimes encounter rogue exiles. Others like you who have been exiled and are openly hostile.
Okay.
Some are malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death. They use the same skills available to players, and even the same items. They aren't just dressed up in those items, they're actually using them.
Okay, so it's basically like some kind of PvE, PvP style. So it's basically like you randomly cross someone that could be playing the game and they just get hostile towards you. But it's actually like PvE, so it's like,
It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation. Of course, if you are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground. So if you encounter an exile using a powerful or valuable unique item, which you can see displayed under their life bar, you want to be damn sure you kill them. Because if they kill you and your party, they'll portal out taking their items with them. Every fight will feel completely different depending on the items they come equipped with. These exiles are much smarter than your regular monster. They have capabilities to dodge roll, avoid your abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay. Fortunately,
oh, this is gonna make like so much, like the hardcore runs so much harder, man. Yeah, kind of invaders. Yeah, kind of. But invaders are actual players, right? Do you get invaded by NPCs? I don't remember. I know there's scripted invasions that are quest-based. But I think like every single invasion you get in the wild are another player, right? There's NPC invaders? Okay.
Unfortunately, they're like you and they're not super durable. Unless, of course, they're wearing uniques like Helm's Heart, in which case, expect a longer battle. There are 12 different rogue exiles you can find, each with their own skills and personalities. Some may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat. Another encounter you might stumble onto in Dawn of the Hunt are one of 4 new unique strongboxes. Strongboxes are chests with modifiers. When you try to open them, they activate traps and spawn waves of monsters that you must defeat to access the loot. Let's take a look at 2 of the new unique boxes that are harder to find and behave just a little bit differently. The Ogham's Legacy Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone. Upon interacting with the stone, you activate Forbidden Ezomite magic, which revives the monster as a powerful...
Okay, you can now... Same thing as the orb valves. Were you able to actually identify items in the well like this before? Because if we were able to, I never tried it, so probably it was already there and I didn't realize it. I don't know.
The Strongbox comes with a modifier, which determines how many times it will revive that.
P1 has it, yeah.
Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster. With each resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding. This Strongbox is infused with thaumaturgy from ancient Foul technology. Eshel's Torment has a powerful artifact inside, and is guarded by Chaos itself. Defeating the monsters will grant you a unique item, with a specific corrupted outcome. You'll have to find the other 2 for yourself to see what they do. Now, let's talk about the introduction to the endgame. Upon starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, in practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps.
Yep.
We wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting.
Thank you.
Now, Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective. On the Atlas, you will find areas of corruption caused by the beast. In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the source of the affliction.
Huh.
In the areas leading up to the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates into powerful monsters. Corrupted maps existed on the Atlas before, but we've done significant work
Vessel of
on these
Hatred.
monsters. We've also done a full pass on the modifiers on these maps to make them more interesting and more rewarding. Once you reach the Nexus, you'll have a new task: cleanse the source of corruption. When you defeat the last rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3 terrifying bosses, amalgamations of corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. As the remains of the boss are purged of corruption, it coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree. The upgrade system that allows you to add and enhance content in your maps. We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus, all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps. Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss.
So it's basically adding a whole new layer on top of the actual maps. So we have the corrupted forms before, and then you have like the cleared one.
And their own set of modifiers and rewards, including finding fracturing orbs by slaying cleansed enemies. These orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its modifiers to become fractured. A fractured modifier is one that cannot be modified by any means. You are able to freely modify the item, ensuring the fractured modifier will never change. If you get
Okay, so it's basically
item
like
with the
magically
right
locking
it
that
can prove to
specific.
be a very powerful crafting base indeed. You must now choose. Do you complete all the corrupted maps and then the Nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the Nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed.
Being able to actually lock one modifier on an item that you actually really want on your item, regardless of anything else, that's gonna fix a lot of problems with people losing their good item or whatever. So I think that like it's a good temporary like solution. And then I guess they will improve the crafting based on items only. I don't think we're gonna have benches and stuff. Not for now, at least.
Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess. Now, let's have a talk about towers. One thing we've had a lot of feedback on is the busy work around running towers and managing your tablets. The first change we've made here is that we have reduced the number of towers drastically, so there are now 1/3 as many as before, but we've made them much more powerful. To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics, but that's not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets. By tier 15, the bonus is double, allowing a single tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before. So, we're running far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even more maps than before. But because there are fewer towers overlapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once. You always get 1 slot on completing the tower, but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the waystone, you can unlock a 2nd or 3rd slot. Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers, while drastically reducing the amount of busy work you have to do. On top of that, towers are much more interesting maps because they can now spawn with all mechanics, including bosses. Each tower map has a new boss. Let's take a look at a couple here. The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory. One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win?
That's cool.
Hopefully neither.
This is like the witches from Zelda.
The boss of the Sinking Spire map is a remnant of the Val that has been charged with lightning. It uses a full suite of lightning abilities. But be careful. If any of them hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up. Another thing that we've seen a lot of feedback about is sustaining waystones. As we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain waystones were dying a lot. A lot more than we had expected. And that made us realize something. During the campaign, the expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges. You are able to learn how the monsters behave, adapt to their skills, and eventually overcome them. But as soon as you get to the endgame, you are effectively no longer allowed to die if you want to sustain waystones. By the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it certainly shouldn't be that we have such a sudden shift as you run your first maps. The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die. Continuing from where you left off. When you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map. As you add more modifiers to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down. This means that as you get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful. In parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times.
But does that fix, like, okay, that's fair, but you just said that it's to avoid people to lose their waystones, so even if we have only 1 portal, can we reuse the same tablet, the same waystone, to try it again? Or do we lose it? So is that the same issue? I'm not sure.
But we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time. Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting to do the pinnacle content because of the experience penalty from dying. A change we've made here is that all pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death either.
Okay.
Dawn of the Hunt also brings the first batch
So
of
basically it's an
Twilight Order
experience
reliquaries
less
from the early access
challenge,
supporter packs.
basically. You're doing it for the
These
loot
keys
and for
contain
the
items
rewards,
selected by
that's
our
it.
supporters. They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys
Wait.
drop.
Have I seen a green piece of armor? Rude bow. Green. Were set items already in the game? Did I just never found any? Or there was none and it's brand new? It's new? I don't know.
If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special
Because I
keys
never
dropped
found
from
any
this
green
content
items
will be able to provide these
from the
items.
500 hours I
For example,
played,
Hand
so...
of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zesht. We're also making a change that allows pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find. This applies to the drop charges for the reliquary keys from this content as well.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So the lower you are, everything is rarer, which makes sense.
We spoke about towers and tablets earlier, but we have also added a suite of unique tablets. Each of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For example, this unique tablet allows you to run any map in a tower's radius without requiring connections, which can be quite useful for jumping gaps and traveling around your atlas. And this tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated, and weakens all expedition monsters that emerge from the ground. The Atlas tree has also been expanded, and you can find many of the new mechanics there, and improvements to existing ones too. Now through this livestream we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences, fractured mods and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about: recombination. Expedition was the only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system, so that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players. It allows you to merge two items together, hoping to get the best elements of each on a single new item.
What?
This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition, and requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it.
Oh, that's so much better than the other one that was taking only the lowest stat of every single one instead. Like, you know, with the rings, if you wanted a new yellow ring, you just combine 3 rings that are the same type, and you just hope it's going to be good. But now you can basically just take 2 different items of the same type, and it's going to try to get the best of both of them. That's so freaking good, man. Holy shit.
The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost.
Yeah, of course.
That wraps up all the major in-game changes we're talking about today. With all the system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps, and obliterating monsters. There is one more thing we wanted to clarify before we move on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing early access leagues, so you can play your existing characters. However, there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy. It is recommended to start over and get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt leagues.
Ah, that's fine. I'm going to restart anyway, it doesn't matter.
For all our existing early access players, we're really looking forward to joining you playing in this new update. For those who don't already have access and are interested in playing Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, you are able to at any time purchase an early access supporter pack at www.pathofexile2.com. Additionally, the Paladin and Penance supporter packs are now available to purchase in Path of Exile 2 and contain 6 microtransactions each and the full pack's face value in points. All the microtransactions contained within these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I actually enjoy the shop for DGG way more than other games, because they basically, you don't gain anything from buying anything except for the stash tabs, and the stash tabs actually make sense, you know. These cosmetics are ugly, yeah, most of them are anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, a lot of new stuff, man. I'm actually stoked. 2 days, man. In 2 days, it's gonna be over. Let's go. I'll get back to it.